Okay, I'm going to pick up a little more instruction here starting on question number 25. If you're not at 25 yet, go ahead and skip forward to question 25. So question 25 has this word in here called monohybrid. So do you know what mono stands for? One. That means that we're dealing with one trait. Being yellow or green is one feature. And then a hybrid means that it's a mixture, right? It's a mix of the two genes. So a cross is having two parents have offspring. So if we're dealing with one cross with one trait, that's a mixture. It's called heterozygous. Both parents are heterozygous. So that would be in 9.3b. What was 9.3b? Back up here on this page. 9.3, the figures are labeled. 9.3b, that is not that one. That's homozygous dominant. That's homozygous recessive. But here, that is the hybrid. So you're going to do what you see in this picture. This is a monohybrid cross. This is one parent. This is the male parent. This is the female parent. You cross two hybrids. That, for one trait, that's a monohybrid cross. So that was question number 25. Now 26 says di. That's two different traits. Figure 9.5a right here. We have R's. Capital R is round. Lowercase letter r is wrinkled, the recessive gene. Then we have capital Y, which is yellow, and lowercase y, which is green. Do you see that this is now a dihybrid? And if it's a dihybrid cross, you're crossing it with another dihybrid. And so you would cross that with another one like that. 27, you know this in algebra? The FOIL method, to get all the possible combinations of two sets. What does the F stand for in the acronym FOIL? The first of each pair. In that case, it's capital letter R and capital letter Y. The first of each pair. So this is the first, and that is the first. What does the O stand for? Outer or outside. So what you'd be wanting to do right now is to fill in the answers to these pages that to these questions that I'm doing. Shouldn't have any headsets in if it's just making you zone out. Well, what we don't cover in class, it's all due as homework. So do it right now in class. The outer of each pair, that is the capital R and the lowercase y. The outside ones. Capital R and lowercase y. What does I stand for? The inside two. And inside is the lowercase letter r and the capital letter Y. Make sure that your R's and Y's are different sizes and your lowercase letters have some sort of italicized swirl to them to keep them straight. And L stands for the last of each pair. The last one is lowercase r, lowercase y. Right here it says write out the gamete options. I already did that in that column right there. 28. Mendel came up with 4 laws that you're answering farther up there. What question was that, 20 or something like that? So Mendel had a law that says that if you're dealing with multiple traits, they're not tied together. They're not inherited together. So if you look at all the results that he came up with, all the yellow don't end up with round. Some of the yellow end up with wrinkled. You get all the possible foiled combinations. You get all these combinations. That's the law of independent assortment. When you're dealing with 2 traits, they're like 2 hands with 2 thumbs up. Remember, chromosomes come in pairs. So during meiosis, when they line up at metaphase, mom's chromosome might be going one way and dad's the other way. Or maybe they're both mom's chromosomes going into one egg. So that's what the independent assortment means. The only way you're going to get them not to independently separate is if the genes are on the same chromosome, like my arm right here. My elbow is always going to be inherited with my wrist. This gene is always going to be here, and they'll be inherited together. If they're on separate hands and they can go either way during anaphase, then they can come in any combination. That's what the law of independent assortment is. What is the genotype of the black dog in figure 9.6? Figure 9.5? Figure 9.6 is right here. This is the black dog. This is a brown dog. What is the genotype of this dog? To be black, you have to have 1 capital dominant letter B. So we don't know if it's second gene that it has. All genes come in pairs. We don't know if that's a capital letter B or a lowercase letter b. He'll still be black. As long as you have 1 of the dominant genes, that's going to be expressed. That's what the law of dominance states. So to answer the question, what is the genotype? We don't know. It's either capital B, or he's capital B, lowercase b. Either of those, since he only needs 1 dominant gene to show the dominant trait, being black fur. So how can you figure it out? You don't have to do a DNA analysis on it. You can do it by checking out the offspring that he has. If you mate this unknown dog's genetics with a known dog's genetics, a brown dog is homozygous recessive always, and you find out if this dog has a brown dog, then you know that he is heterozygous. If you mate this black dog, unknown genetics, with a known brown dog, and they only have black puppies, then you know that he is homozygous dominant. So, back up here, he's either homozygous dominant or he's heterozygous. A test cross is crossing the unknown with homozygous recessive. Crossing your unknown We don't know if he's that or that. Crossing it with a known guy, and we know that the only way to know for sure what the genetics is of the animal is if they're homozygous recessive. So you do that test cross right there, and if some of the puppies are brown, you know that that unknown guy is carrying the recessive. I'm going to help you set up question 31 with a dihybrid cross. We're going to do a dihybrid cross, and it's going to be with the color of the coat, so it's hybrid that way. And N stands for normal vision, and then he's got a capital N and a lowercase n. And you're going to cross that with another one like that. So you're going to set up a Punnett square. You're going to do a FOIL to figure out all of the combinations of the gametes for the male and the female. And if you FOIL this, you're going to go with the first pairs, capital B, capital N. Then you're going to do the outer, capital B, lowercase n. Then you're going to do the inner, lowercase b, capital N. And then you're going to do the last of the two pairs. So those are the 4 gamete possibilities. If I didn't show you that, it's confusing the first time you see a dihybrid that has 2 traits inside of the egg or the sperm. So that's how you set it up. Are you done writing that down?
No, I'm not.
Give you 10 more seconds.
Can you go over number 28?
Mendel's law of independent assortment means that if we're dealing with 2 traits, like B's and N's, the color of their coat, black or brown, their normal vision or not, those 2, he called them heritable factors. Those 2 factors are inherited separate. So you can have a brown dog with normal vision, a black dog with normal vision, a brown dog with not normal vision, and so on. Black and normal vision aren't always tied together, and we now know that if they're on separate chromosomes, they're not inherited together. Remember 2 to the nth power from another class? How many gene combinations are there? 2 means that there's always 2 options, dominant or recessive. N means the number of chromosomes. So for humans, that's 2 to the 23rd power. All 23 chromosomes are inherited separate from other chromosomes. They're not all going to go in the same direction. So now, with the remaining minutes left in class, I will set this up for you right here. So they wanted you to do the FOIL. Remember, it's like this. So this is going to be the first, this is the outer, this is the inner, and this is the outside. So this is the egg, the sperm is the same way. We don't need this row right here. That's an extra one. Now you play Battleship and you combine this egg with that sperm and you write the letters together. Homozygous dominant for both traits. Capital B, capital B. Always write the capital letter first, even if in my mind I was picking this one first and then that one second. I always write the capital letter first. So I'm not going to lead with a lowercase letter if there's a capital letter. So capital letter B, and then 2 N's. So I did 4 out of 16 that you needed. and then you just fill in the rest. This is as complicated as it gets. We only go to 2 traits inherited together and a dihybrid cross. There is a video for you. If you click on that link, it's going to take you through a dihybrid Punnett square, which is what we're doing right here, if you want to see a little more detail.
Take one, yeah.